Guess we're recording. Hey. Today's Sunday the 15th. I think it's Sunday. September. And I don't know why I wanted to make a video right now. I'm tired of chemtrails. People say, you ask them how they doing, they say, I can't complain. Well, as far as I'm concerned, there isn't a person out there in this country that that doesn't have a complaint. We all can complain. Anybody can complain. There's plenty to complain about till it's over. And how can you lay down at night and wake up injured in the morning? Okay, that's pissing me off. Usually you lay down to get rest, to be more well. So while we're laying there resting, healing, some control freaks, some criminals in this world using non-lethal weapons, which there's no such, it's not accurate because they are lethal. It's just that, you know, you got to add a little this, a little that, give it some time. They definitely are doing injuries to people. But heavy day of chemtrailing yesterday. You know, feeling it today. Getting some of the sorest muscle cramps. You know, feeling like I used a rock for a pillow. Probably would have felt better if I'd have got drunk or something. Hangover would feel better. Which I haven't had for a long, long time. Because I don't drink, and when I do drink, I don't drink that much, so you know, I haven't done that to myself for 20 years probably. And also, if you're going to drink something, if you make sure you're hydrated enough, got some food in you, and plus, depends on what you're drinking. A friend of mine was making some vodka, and that stuff would give you a buzz right now and have you laughing and enjoying the night. And get you so you couldn't even hardly do anything, and yet you still wouldn't be stupid on the stuff. There's some homemade vodka. Get so drunk you can't stand up, and yet you wake up in the morning and you're fine. Not even a hangover. They're putting toxins in the alcohol that's out there. I don't trust it. I think it all should be homemade. All the manufactured alcohol should be prohibited. All the manufactured pharmaceutical, all those drugs should be prohibited. They only need to use most of those drugs because of the effects of not having proper food. and there's a bunch of foods that should be prohibited. And the chemtrailing should be prohibited! And I've become Mr. Non-Public because I am not suitable to get in your face personally. I'll be out there fighting with them preachers and stuff about it. I'm ready to swing on people for being so stupid and ignorant, not paying attention. Just wanting to be raptured. They don't want no victory in Jesus. He's coming, but we're going, huh? Well, go ahead. I ain't leaving. My king's coming here. We're going to live on this planet. You get it? Going to have a victory. It's not, this isn't just a testing ground. Though we are being tested, we are being proven to be God's awesome creation that He has chosen to dwell in, to have a personal relationship, to experience our lives in this life that we get to live. We get to be a part of that. He wants us to be obediently wholesome lives so that that temple that He dwells in doesn't drag God through the mud, so to speak. We're going through all that, taking care of all that right now, learning our lessons. And people are mostly pretty good. The ignorance is outrageous, though. And the rapture, I'm just flat out sick and tired of even hearing about rapture anymore. I was trying to be nice about it in the past. Let me flat out say, I don't believe in a rapture. I believe there's going to be some that God calls for whatever reason to set up His government upon the earth, and there's going to be some special occasions, but overall it's God and earth and mankind coming together, heaven and earth, in a marriage of sorts. And but it you know, it's like God's relationship with us is not quite the same as a lot of our relationships with each other. These codependencies and these you know, people think that they can change people by having a relationship with them, that's the kind of help somebody needs. They need to be helped to be changed and those kind of things. Well, you know, God deserves a mate, saying we're His mate, say we're His bride. You know, one that really is out to do everything in a way that would please God, in a way that would please their mate. That's what kind of a bride we should be. In this world that's down on the man and woman relationships like that, like, you know, like there's no order, that men are no different than women. Well, guess what? We have exactly the same rights, men and women, but guess what? Men and women are different. Okay? And men are the head of the house. Men are the leaders, and they point at this world and they say, look at it, it's all men. Well, why do you think it's all men? Because that's man's job. Okay? They're saying, oh no, it's all men, that's the whole problem, and that's why there's murder and corruption and war. Because that's the way men are. Well, how sexist are you going to be? You're going to be sexist telling us we can't be sexist and say men are different. Oh, but if you want to condemn men, you can say they're different. I didn't even expect to get on this topic, probably because I got some Marvin Gaye playing there. But yeah, I'm trying to chill this morning. A lot of times I get up in this world not feeling good, not feeling right, and I don't go and make videos. First thing in the morning or something, but I just wanted to make this. We can complain, you can complain, you got a right to complain. It's essential to complain, need to complain. But now I want to get on to other things. I got a lot of things, you know, like I made some bones the other day, you know. I should be making some every day, but I want other people making them. I want other people doing it. I can do it all day long. I've done it all, you know. I've been all over this country. You know, couldn't hardly even get somebody to go along. They couldn't live with me. You know why? Because I don't eat fast food. Yeah. I'm a weirdo. I don't eat fast food. I'm a weirdo. I don't like the dollar store. I'm a weirdo. Don't spray any Febreze around me or some crap like that. I don't like synthetic smells in the air. Maybe we'll get on. I can make videos all day long. So much stuff goes through this head, my heart, and make these videos. They end up being pretty long sometimes, and I feel like, shoot, I got more stuff out there than somebody can even listen to. It'd take them a while to comprehend a good deal of what I've been even saying. I need to watch some stuff again. I kind of amaze myself when I look at it. I'm like, there is a lot of information that I'm talking about. I know what I'm talking about. I may say things wrong sometimes. Go get him, Buster. Alright. Got dogs coming into heat, so we'll have that. I got 5 females here. I'd let them all have pups if I thought the world could handle it. If I thought there was enough people out there in the world to give these dogs away to people can't even have dogs. Systems come down, animal control and all this. It's been a nightmare. They're not into problem solving, they're into making rules. Oh, you can't do that. Oh, you know, it's like, you know, well, your dog came and shit in my yard and I'm sick of it, you know. Well, I heard, who was it? Somebody the other day was saying, You know what the police should do? You know, the police should be out there picking up dog shit. You know, and it made a lot of sense. Okay, that there are a few chores like that. That somebody who had responsibilities like police officers were going around and cleaning up those little messes, visiting those places, you know, and sticking their nose. If they want to stick their nose into people's business, that is the way to do it. Go pick up their dog shit. And, yeah, kind of a... And I've always picked up my own dog shit, and I don't mind doing that. It's just that, you know, that would solve the problem. You know? If somebody's dog shit's in your yard, then the police have to come and clean it up. Hey! And then if the police don't want to do that, then they can't charge the person whose dog crapped in someone's yard with a crime because, you know, it's really not a crime. It's an inconvenience, and it's a rude, disrespectful kind of thing, maybe. But maybe then the police, if they would get smart enough police with enough intelligence, they could come up with a solution, a way to train that dog not to do that no more. Or they might agree, well, that dog, you just can't teach him, can you? You know, but become part of the people, live with the people, live with reality. You know, the hell with all these rules and regulations. They're not laws. That isn't law. I'm so disgusted, fed up with the whole thing. That's why you don't see me going to public. You want me in your church? You want me to come visit your church today? Huh? 'Cause I'll tell you, at this point in my life, I'm not ashamed to stand up right in that congregation and argue with the pastor or the preacher that's up there or whoever it is. Even if it's somebody singing a song, if there's a, I'm going to say it. Now, I ain't going mess up your services. Tell people they need to go to church. You wouldn't want me to go to your church. Oh well. That's a little good Sunday morning complaint. You have the right to complain. Everybody should complain about chemtrails. Everybody should complain about pharmaceuticals. Everybody should complain. You can complain. You can complain that, you know, thousands of Americans have fought and died for your life, and you don't get to do what you want to do. Even though those men fought and died, yeah, you can complain. I'm gonna. I've been. I think I'm a lot better for it. Although, you know, it screws up the relationships that I'm not having. But by the time I have relationships with people, they will be real. They're not going to be these fakey, manipulating each other, codependency relationships that are going on. Ridiculous crap. Relationships that are, you know, I mean, a relationship, maybe, you know, some relationships, maybe somebody is saved by that relationship. Great. You know, but I don't think that's what it's about. You know, I don't think that the king is coming because his bride to be is having an affair with the enemy. All this adulterous relationship of, I wouldn't say church and state, it's worse, church and industry. Huh? How about that? All the luxury and everything that the church, Christians love to purchase. And I'm not against being comfortable and luxurious. I believe in that stuff. But it's about priorities. What comes first? You guys want your parking lot paved first. Those are your priorities. Outward appearances. Well, when that happens, then you set yourself up to be fooled, because all somebody has to do is put on the outward appearance, and you're going to buy what they tell you. Just like me, I can shave, get my hair cut, get a suit, put a suit on, go somewhere, convince somebody I got a degree, or even that I'm a doctor or a lawyer or something like that, without proving any evidence. If I give them the few right words and I look that way and I say that, they'll believe me. I'm all dressed up. I can lie to people and they'll believe me. But they'll still look at you sideways if you tell them the truth, like, marijuana really should be completely legal. And it doesn't hurt children either. They don't want to admit that. And I'll say it again. I knew a woman who swore to God that her son committed suicide because he smoked marijuana. And she refused to have anything to do with it, or would have anything to do with it. And guess what? She goes and commits suicide. And she didn't even smoke marijuana. And I think she drove her son to committing suicide because he smoked marijuana. That was my opinion about the whole thing. And I didn't say anything at the time. But here, a few years later, what'd she do? She commits suicide. And she never smoked marijuana. There's a lot of bullcrap going out there. A lot of people accusing marijuana of stuff when there's something else going on. They're missing, not finding the real problem because they're focused on something that ain't the problem. That's what we got going on in this world. We're arresting kids for marijuana in this country, when there's horrible, horrible things going on. Partial birth abortions and stuff. Come on! We're taught bank robbery is the crime. Like crimes are like bank robbery. Let's see, there's a few crimes you could commit. Bank robbery. You could murder somebody, or you could, drunk drive. And they have these few things. We think those are what's crimes, while governments and banks and industry are committing horrible, horrible crimes constantly against the people. And we're pointing the finger at each other for arguing about whether we should smoke marijuana or not. It's horrible. It's a nightmare. I do not love this world. I hate it. I hate your world, people. I don't hate the natural things. I don't demonize man, and I don't say that there is, I don't say that man is this totally corrupt being. All this demonizing of the human being. We are the awesome creature of the universe. God chose us to be his temple, to be his dwelling place, to dwell in us, to experience our lives, but we have to be in obedience. We have to have a clean enough vessel for God, particularly spiritually clean. We're not talking physical. He's given us a heart and a mind and a soul, 3 parts to our personality. And we need to use them. We need to use our heart. We need to have feelings for each other. We have to use our minds. We have to have the passion. Which can, in fact, that comes from embracing your experiences. Embrace your depression. You depressed? Embrace it. Figure out why. Admit it. Oh, I'm depressed. Don't say, oh, I'm so depressed and I don't know why. Oh, maybe the doctor has something for me. No, there's real things going on in your lives that are depressing people. And the doctors aren't going to tell you that, and they're not going to handle it that way. And social services, or none of them, they're not going to help you deal with your life unless you really insist upon it. Then you might actually get some kind of, therapy where you're actually discussing something and what to do. But it hasn't been happening. Sexual healing. I don't know why I popped this on this morning, and I don't know if I don't know if it's the music's in the background on the video or something, what they would say. I actually just started making the video and this was on, so I left it. But healing, sexual healing, my God, with all the homosexuality and everything that's going on, they needed sexual healing. A lot of people do, my gay friend, showed a picture and says, hey, does this look gay enough? And I commented, looks downright faggy to me. And, his response ends up being, God damn you. So he wants me to be damned because of an opinion about a gay thing. And that, to me, I find the whole homosexual thing embarrassing. And, I said, oh, it looks downright faggy, and that was an honest comment. And, I'm not even saying, oh, you're the bad guy, how could you, and all this stuff, but that's the response I get back. I'm to be damned. And I'm not even saying, God damn the gays. I'm saying, God damn the murderers Goddamn the thieves. Goddamn the rapists. Goddamn the sexual predators, whether they're gay or not. I just so yeah, there's some things that are pretty messed up, because that friend of mine, I've always believed in him. I know how talented. I feel that his life is being wasted, and he's, you know, see, he wasn't homosexual when I met him, and he wasn't, you know, homosexual when he moved out of the neighborhood we all lived in originally, and the community. And you know, I knew him in his youth, and I never touched him, and I never violated him or did anything. You know, our relationship was always pure and good. I was teaching him how to play guitar, and you know, instead, you know, because I say a picture looks faggy. Now, after all these years, from 15 years ago, since I knew him 10 years ago, now all of a sudden, you know, it's like, you know, goddamn me, you know, or I'm the one who should go to hell, because I said faggy, 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 faggy. That's how gay it is. It's like Obama going over there, you know, and telling Putin, you know, when he doesn't want to get on the gay bandwagon, Obama calls Putin a jackass. You know, and it's like, isn't that a gay response? Yeah, perfect, exactly. You know, well, I'm a jackass too. You know, I'm a modern jackass. I'll be the first one to admit it. Hee-haw, hee-haw. That's me. Stubborn jackass. I'll tell you what, you know, you can't demonize me for being a jackass. You don't have to like me. You can't manipulate and use me very well, so I'm probably no use to you. I'm just a dumb old jackass. Alright. Anyways, I feel a little better, you know. I still had my ears hurt, you know. I feel like I laid on a rock or something. They feel hot. They feel like I've been on a cell phone. That's what it feels like, you know. I used to talk on a cell phone quite a bit till, you know, I just started only using a speakerphone. Oh, and I quit putting the thing to my ear, because if I talk for around an hour or so to somebody, my ears would heat up. There would be heat and this pain, and that's exactly what I felt this morning waking up. So they're probably microwaving us. I'm sick of that. I'll beat the crap right out of them. Somebody doing that, you know. And there's people that I don't know who's doing it. What are they pushing a button, or? You know, God, I'd love to get my hands on them. I hope they know. I hope they feel that. Bam! Okay, because I got no tolerance for that crap. And all this non-lethal weapon stuff and stalking. All that stuff is true. I know it. And I've been briefly stalked many times. You know, I say briefly because I'm only out there briefly, and I don't hang around. I'm not out there every day. If I was out there every day, I'd have probably got stalked every day. But, you know, there is stalking going on, and people are really being tormented by a lot of things that, God, we're awesome. We're handling it. We're taking this pain in our, So I say, I take the bite, you dogs. You bit me. You bit me. 'Tis merely a flesh wound. How about that, huh? What if I get my hands on you who are biting me, huh? You robbed us, the state of Michigan, and other states around the country. And there's some evil, wicked people that think they own the place, and they own it all. And they can die. I'm not saying prayers for them. I'm not saying God have mercy on them. You know why? Because they're not asking for God's mercy, and they're showing no mercy to us. They're not asking forgiveness. I forgave them in the past, but I withdrew my forgiveness. How do you like that? Huh? I did. Can that be done? Can you withdraw your forgiveness? Well, I think you can if they never asked for it to begin with and didn't desire your forgiveness and were repentant. They don't get it now until they've repented or died. Oh, you're dead? Okay, I forgive you. I'll forget about it now. Ah. Yeah, this is it. We have a world to transform. We got a big job ahead of us. We can redesign everything. We can take another look at all of our technologies and say, do we want to do it like this or that? We have choices. We feel like it's all been done for us. Well, fasteners are, well, you got a 9/16 size and you got a 1/2 inch size and you got these, and there's all these. We don't have to do it that way. We can change anything and everything that we want. Okay? Or we can hold to whatever standards we want and use them. The world is ours. The creation is ours. We need to transform this sucky ass murdering criminal world into a fair and just, humane world. But if you all, I believe in human beings, so I don't demonize human beings, so I see that I can believe in that. See, if you don't believe in a human being, if you can't believe in a human being, you can't believe in Jesus either. How about that? That's what I'm saying. We need to believe in each other. We need to believe in the human being. Yeah, first we got to acknowledge our faults, our corruptness. And we have to, change. We have to be obedient to God. This was what John the Baptist was teaching, repentance and forgiveness, so that you could change. Without the forgiveness, you got to go to court and be prosecuted and punished. Okay, with the forgiveness, you don't. You can admit in the court system. You don't want to admit to the truth because then you're found guilty. And you don't want to be found guilty in that system because there's punishment if you're found guilty. It's going to hurt. So just by nature, everybody's going to want to lie. There's no motive there for telling the truth, for solving our problems, getting down to the bottom of things. Because anybody that's really done anything wrong is being deterred from telling the truth because they're going to be punished. And that is not the way of Jesus. And you have all these churches that support that way, And support all that authoritarianism. Support the prohibition of cannabis and all that. When cannabis is the oil of the anointing of the Christ. It's unbelievable. It really is. There's a... We'll do a lot better. And we will, and there's people that are. And for us that are believing in transforming this world, we're going to get the opportunity. And then we better take it. You know, we pray for no war. Okay, you get no war, then what are you going to do? You know, what do you want to do with your life? What do you want to do with this world? That's what matters. All this stuff that we're protesting now, all this, you know, everything on Alex Jones and that, it's all stuff that, you know, well, get a water filter because you need to filter your water. True. You know, they're putting fluoride in the water and everything. What about when all that, there's no more fluoride in the water and stuff and everybody's water is filtered? You know, what do we want to do? We got to transform this world. We got to transform how we live. We have to adapt to a different principle or philosophy or method. And the world has got all this, they got names for everything. You know, communism, socialism, same thing. You know, they got names for everything. You know, we don't understand. How can communism be a bad name? How can socialism be a bad name, represent something bad? We need to look at what those really represent. They're trying to turn democracy into something bad. Just like, oh, democracy is as bad as communism. Because it's mob rule. Instead of going with it, yeah, it's mob rule. The public is the mob. And the ruling class are the ones who don't get to rule now. Now, the mob rules it over them, and they do what's good for the mob, or the mob comes after them with pitchforks and torches. And that's democracy. Democracy goes after the werewolf and the Frankenstein and the monsters and vampires. That's democracy. There's nothing wrong with democracy. There's nothing wrong with socialism. There's nothing wrong with capitalism. There's nothing wrong with communism. You know? That's saying communityism. I'd love to have a community. We have no community. Because we have no communism. There's no community. Our community becomes a state. Yeah, that is wrong. That is where they take the word of communism or communityism, and the state owns it, and it becomes state-owned. And then, yeah, it's corrupt. But anyways, I got up complaining. I mean, I had downright painful muscle cramps in my legs this morning for no reason. I didn't do anything. I didn't ride my bike. I didn't do anything, go exercise, in a way, do something different that traditionally in the past, since my youth, I would get these legitimate muscle cramps at times. But lately, you know, it's been this, and we got dumped on again, and then getting them cramps again in the middle of the night when I haven't had them for a few weeks. I feel that stuff coming back in, and having the taste in my mouth yesterday, metallic, outdoors. You can complain. How can you not complain? That's what I'm saying. Anybody tells me they can't complain, I'm going to say, well, what's wrong with you? Why can't you complain? Huh? You too weak? You too afraid? You too conformed to complain? You too nice to complain? You too trained to complain? You too programmed to complain? You too good to complain? How can you not complain about chemtrails, about scribbling in your sky? The only way somebody cannot do it is to be totally unaware of it, or else by cheating themselves and the rest of us want to remain ignorant about it. Well, I don't want to get into it. I don't want to. Well, you know how upset I get about things. Well, that's the people we want, the ones that really get upset. They really know how to get upset like me. Okay? But they know what they're doing, so they're not out there doing something stupid. I'm not going to go lose it on somebody. Okay? Because I'm upset because they're hurting somebody, so why would I go and hurt somebody? But if I catch somebody on somebody hurting somebody, I'm going to do what I need to get them off there, but I'm not going to, like, you know, start kicking and stomping on them and not be able to stop. You know, you can complain. You're not going to lose it just because you complain and get upset about stuff. You're going to lose your life and your health by not complaining, by being a nice guy. You can just roll over and die. That's what the world would love. I can't believe I'm here Sunday morning saying, you know, complain. I wanted to make a video about the bones and show more about teaching the bones and that. And, you know, I didn't even ate breakfast. I was sitting there ignoring my cup of coffee. So I'd only drank one cup of coffee this morning, and I drink a pot. But, you know, please complain. Complain in the name of Jesus about things. You know, I watch a lot of different people on YouTube, and I don't always comment, and if I don't have positive comments, I try not to say much in that, but there's a whole lot going on where the thing with Syria and the gas, then it looked like Obama was going to do a missile strike, and everybody, you know, was complaining, no, you know, we can't strike Syria, and we didn't, and we haven't. And it's like nobody noticed. They're still going on as though we already have shot missiles at them, instead of being thankful that the missiles didn't go off, you know, a week ago, like they could have, which everybody was hoping wouldn't, and then it didn't. It was like nobody noticed. Okay, because they're still saying, well, we're looking into the issue. We're looking into the matter. You know, well, as soon as they said that was a victory. That's all I wanted them to do to begin with. And so we're getting our way, people. It is happening. You know, thank God that we haven't moved on Syria. Thank God for that. I didn't hear anybody thanking God for that. Okay? But also it is a tug of war, and it's like, no, as soon as you quit pulling it, you know, it's like they're going to pull you over. So, you know, I kind of understand the nature of nobody saying, you know, isn't that great and wonderful? You know, it's like, but it is another egg. You know, you don't want to count your chickens till after they're hatched or whatever, you know. But you can count those eggs, you know. And it's looking good. Okay, there's hope. Okay, we're going in the right direction. And, you know, of course, you know, the poor disappointment for all those pastors out there, you know, who are prophesying, or no, they're interpreting prophecy before it's fulfilled. Saying, oh, this is going to happen and that's going to happen. And, you know, Syria is going to be destroyed because it says Damascus will no longer be a city, you know. Well, it's saying Damascus is no longer going to be protected. Okay? And that's exactly what ended up happening. All them pastors withdrew their protection of one of the original Christian communities in the world, where the Apostle Paul had gone to kill that Christian community and met God on the road to Damascus. May we, as this country, meet God on the road to Damascus. And, you know, these pastors, you know, who are saying, well, that means Assad's going to fall and Damascus is bad and shame on them, and Syria and Muslims and all Muslim. You know, I loop a bunch of Muslims and Jews and Christians together and they don't represent and it's not the way that all the Muslims are. It's not the way that all the Christians are. It's not the way that all the Jews are. Or the Israelis. Hey! Rufus? She's not your girl. You better watch it. Yeah, Rufus and Buster, they're brothers. They're like 12 years old, the old boys here. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is that we got a lot to be thankful for. Okay, there's victories that are happening in front of our eyes. There's changes that are taking place. People aren't noticing. You know, when they didn't nuke the Gulf of Mexico, when that oil spill was in the Gulf, then you know, I noticed, but nobody else noticed a victory there. They're like, oh, it's horrible. They've ruined the oceans, the currents, the weather. The whole Earth's going to die now anyways. Because of that little tiny well in the Gulf of Mexico is going to destroy the whole Earth. It's like saying a mosquito bite is going to draw enough blood out of you to kill you. It's bullshit. Yeah, it's horrible to have all those toxins in the oceans and they're killing fish and everything, but they're not going to kill them all. You know, at that time already, you know, there are people saying, oh, this extinction level event. You know, and if that wasn't, you know, extinction level event enough, then they had this other saying some Madrid fault or something going up the Mississippi River, gonna split the country in half, and it's the Great Plains are gonna be part of the Gulf of Mexico, and my God. But there wasn't the Gulf was never an extinction level event. But if they would have nuked it, and that oil would have went, say even 2 miles inland along the whole coast from Florida to Texas on the Gulf, and that 2 miles would have been a ground zero, no survivors, because they would have been like those little birds and duckies that you see covered with oil flopping around. And that's the way that the control freaks in the world, that's what they wanted to see. They wanted to see us, drowning in that oil. It's a little movement here or there. Ooh, oh, it's still alive. It's suffering. That's what they wanted to see happen to us. They wanted 10 million people killed from that event. They wanted FEMA camps filled from that event. They were prepared to so-called relocate, was it 40 or 60 million Americans? Not that they had it all set up to be able to do that good enough, but they had the money. They got billions of dollars to do that relocation. See, and the whole thing never happened because they didn't nuke it. And people don't get it. Nobody's praising God and thanking God because they don't know, but I am, and I have. I see. I know that there are those in the world that are that insane that they would have set off a nuke if they could. And God didn't allow that. He did allow that Twin Towers, what happened there and that, but, we weren't onto that when it wasn't something that was in progress like the Gulf situation was, but it was something that was on the money. And but there were supposed to be at least 10 million Americans dead from the Gulf and the riots and everything, and plus, like people up north here would have rushed down maybe toward the south to help people. What if something, it's like, oh no, they're putting people in FEMA camps, so all of our people leave here to go help fight a civil war, and then the enemy comes here in this neighborhood. So they were ready to do it all. They're ready to take away property from Americans, destroy them, take their homes. This country was not supposed to be here now. That was the plan. It was supposed to destroy this country. Take down the government then. Get us to all kill each other a bunch. Didn't happen. It's undeserved. It's not the way we are anyways. But thank God that nuke didn't go off in the Gulf. And, there's a lot of fear-mongering going on. This and that. When there's a lot of stuff that we can be thankful for that we can see didn't happen. I'm just thankful that everybody isn't dead from cancer. so many things that are unnatural, that are imposed upon the people. And I'm saying, glad that everybody isn't dead from cancer, because cancer killed my dad. And if it could kill my dad, it could kill anybody. Because my dad was one of them men, didn't eat, didn't smoke, didn't drink, and ate well and healthy, and as natural as he could, grew gardens, always had a concern for his health, didn't go to the doctor, wasn't on medications, didn't believe in drugs, didn't use drugs. Here the poor guy never used any drugs, and yet in the end somebody puts him down with the pharmaceuticals, the hospice people. I would have never let hospice in. If anything, that's why I would feel guilty of not coming home when my dad was ill. But I probably would have went to jail if I would have, because what was going on, what I found out later on, I would have not agreed to that. I probably would have gone to jail. I may even have killed somebody from hospice coming over to kill my dad, because that's how I'd have seen it. And then to give that man an overdose of drugs, it just shows me how ignorant my family is now. They don't know. They didn't even know my dad. They didn't know what he would have preferred. They preferred to have their own way with him. So I'm glad we're not all dead, because like I say, there's a good, decent, law-abiding man has all that happen to him, and undeserved. And he would have used the herb. We could have got him to take the oil. I didn't know about the oil, the Rick Simpson oil at the time. And now the weed's still not legal in this country, and there's so much evidence of it curing cancer, and it's still not legal. Of course, they outlaw any cancer cures. I hate this fucking world, and I'm going to complain about it every day till it's over. And you got a right to complain, and I hope you all start complaining. I hope you got a lot to complain, and you can complain about me if you want to begin with. Just start complaining. Complain about it. Embrace it. In the long run, you're going to have more control of your life. You're going to feel better. If you want to just be comfortable all the time, it's not going to work out. Especially when there's some real uncomfortable things that are going on. You'd be in denial. Oh, why can't we just all be happy and get along? Well, that'd be great if that was reality. And if that was the truth, and if we could just all, conjure up happiness and get alongingness, but then there would be no dimension to the human being. There'd be nothing there, While we're really dynamic, extremely dynamic. We are the most awesome creature of the universe, human being. At least that I know of. I can claim that, because God is not a creature. He's a creator. We are his creation. We are the creature. Okay? Now, if he's got some other more awesome creature than us. Now, some people think the dolphin's more awesome a creature, or a bird, or a dog, or something. Okay? Well, I don't agree with that. Of all the creatures on earth, A human being is obviously, clearly the most awesome of all. And out in the universe, do I know of any? Have I seen any aliens? People give me a hard time about that. Want to argue? They want to argue about me when I say humans are. They're like, how can you say that? So and so said there's, trillions of galaxies, and the chance of there being, other life out there, intelligent life is pretty damn good. It's like, well, fine. If there is, that's fine. I'm not saying that I would deny a more awesome creature if it came and showed its face to me, was in front of me, and proved to me its awesomeness. Nobody can show me a more awesome creature than the human being. Embrace it. And we could transform our lives. And there's this thing in the Bible. It says, be ye not conformed to the world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your minds. Okay, that's that gift that we have. Okay, we can renew our minds. We can put a different program in there that runs our lives. We can change the program with our free will. This is what Jesus and John the Baptist came to teach and what the people understood. Now, simple it is, and it is for everybody. And it's not just like this conjured up plan that doesn't make sense. That God, so what can we do for these people, Oh, let's make a nice symbolic gesture, How about I send my son to get crucified, and maybe they'll follow us because that was such a nice thing for him to do. No, there's real principles that are involved in this repentance, in this forgiveness, in this love for one another. Love your neighbor as yourself. Doesn't say hug and kiss yourself or hug and kiss your neighbor. Love your neighbor as yourself. Respect yourself, respect your rights, respect your humanity, and your neighbors also. It's all really simple. And nothing of the Bible that the Bible required is really difficult, except for like what Jesus did. Now that was difficult. Okay, he did do that. He knew these men were going to lay their hands on him and mistreat him. I don't think that he knew every blow that was going to come and where it was going to come from and all that stuff like that. He's a human being like us. Going through it was as real as could be for you or me. That's what he experienced there. People want to say, well, he was God. He was God. Well, you never heard him say that. He said he was Son of Man. That's what he was proud of. That was the accomplishment. That was the big deal. It was being a human being. That was a big deal to Jesus. So, repent. Praise God. Don't forget to complain about the world. Don't forget to complain that they're poisoning our children. I didn't even, get into the money thing this time. And that's a whole nother big deal. That this enemy of ours is 10 times the wealth that the people have, and we have to use what we got to go and buy bread, and they use what they got to go and buy white phosphorus and dump it on us. And That's the Federal Reserve and the people that benefit from that breakaway civilization. Those people there, those bigots. You know, and there's probably some really beautiful people amongst that whole crowd and all that stuff, and I don't care. Crime's a crime. They need to repent, you know. I fear for their families. Their families are probably going to be, you know, running, trying to escape something. The end is for them. All the judgments that are called down upon man are for those control freaks, for the ruling class. The ruling class. You know, the writing on the wall in Daniel, you know, that was at a big insiders party. Okay, that didn't happen for the public. It's the insiders who, they're going to get it. They're the ones that need to repent right now. They can and they should. Now, I should let you go and I should cut this out because it's been pretty long. I don't know how long, but don't forget to complain. See ya. And don't forget to complain.